Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Houston, Texas, in the beautiful Reliant Stadium for the inaugural event of the AMT Promotions Outlaw Monster Truck Series. 7 trucks have answered the call for this inaugural event on a tricky SoCal-style race circuit. Set to do battle tonight here in Houston across 2 racing events, and your field looks like this. Caleb Lestrade behind the wheel of the Ecto-1 out of Houston, Texas. Joey Smith wheeling the Creepin' Death 51 Ford panel truck out of LaPorte, Texas. Tail Fin Terror, driven by Jackson McLean out of Tampa, Florida. High Side, Will Thompson from Deer Park, Texas. Mike Henry Jr. behind the wheel of the Jersey Devil out of New Jersey. Andrew Thornton wheeling Ron Nelson's Bustin' Loose from Granbury, Texas. And last but not least, David Lux brings out Brutus from Kalamazoo, Michigan. Quick qualifier Bustin' Loose is going to have a bye run here in the first round. Means first pair you're going to see Creeping Death versus Brutus, followed by Jersey Devil versus Tailfin Terror, and Ecto-1 versus High Side to round out round 1. That brings up Joey Smith and Creeping Death and David Lux and Brutus to bring us to the start of our 20th event season. Both drivers are away, struggled with the first turn. Joey Smith gets a better run down the main straightaway down to the far end of the track. Smith struggles with the turn. Lux nice and smooth. Smith swings wide. Lux bounces it off the turning cars. That's going to hand the round win over to Joey Smith, who wins the first ever round in competition with the series. Next pair comes to you here in the first round. Mike Henry Jr. and the Jersey Devil taking on Jackson McLean and the Tailfin Terror. Mike Henry Jr. way up on the chip to start the race. Both drivers even through the first turn. Even down the straightaway going into the far turn. McLean bobbles the turn. Swings a little bit wide and tags the crush car. Looks like he blows the right rear tire, but he's going to get across the start finish line first and win here in the first round. Final pair of this round is going to be High Side versus Ecto-1. Both drivers leave together, even out of the first turn and down the main straightaway. Even into the turn. On exit, Will Thompson, High Side's going to loop it. He's going to lose a ton of ground to Caleb and Ecto-1. And smooth and steady through the final turn. Ecto-1 going to win here in round number 1. Moving on into the semifinals. Going to bring up Ecto-1 versus the Jersey Devil and Creepin' Death versus Bustin' Loose to find out who's going to battle it out in the championship round. Again, Mike Henry winding the Jersey Devil through the moon as the light goes green. Identical through the first corner. Small advantage to Ecto-1 into the far end. Back down the straightaway. Ecto-1 cuts the corner short. Jersey Devil with a ton of speed. Who's got it? We're going to have to go to the replay. And looking at the slow motion overhead replay by the narrowest of margins, the win goes to Mike Henry Jr. in the Jersey Devil, moving on to the final. But the question remains, who will Mike Henry face in the final? Will it be Creeping Death or Bustin' Loose? Both drivers leave the line together. Through the first turn, both drivers a bit wide. Smith carrying a ton of speed into the far turn. Pushes way wide, Bustin' Loose hugs the turn a lot tighter. Back down the main straightaway. Creeping Death pushes wide for the second turn in a row. Bustin' Loose hugs the turning cars and comes across the line first. He's going to the finals against the Jersey Devil. And here we go with the finals of the very first competition of the season. Mike Henry Jr. in the Jersey Devil. Andrew Thornton behind the wheel of Bustin' Loose. Waiting for green. Both drivers leave together. Thornton real tight around the cars in the first turn. Henry a little bit wide. Thornton's going to get down to the other end first, but the truck pushes badly. Jersey Devil trying to make up the ground, spins the truck out and stalls it. Smooth and steady. And across the start-finish line, Bustin' Loose is going to be the champion of the very first event of the season here in Houston. Welcome back to Reliant Stadium here in Houston, Texas, as we're getting ready to go with show number 2, qualifying already complete. Mike Henry Jr., the Jersey Devil, gets the bye run here in the first round. That's going to put Bustin' Loose against Brutus, Ecto 1 against Highside, and Creeping Death taking on Tailfin Terror in round 1. First pair is going to be Bustin' Loose against Brutus, waiting for the light to go green. Green light's on, drivers lead together, nice and smooth. Brutus having trouble. Bustin' Loose driving away down the main straightaway and down into the far end. Brutus still struggling to get the truck to turn. Bustin' Loose leaving him in a wake. And through the final turn, over the start-finish line, Bustin' Loose moving on to the semifinals. Next pair is a rematch of first round of the first show, Highside versus Ecto 1. Both drivers lead together. Through the first turn, Ecto 1 a little smoother. Advantage down the main straightaway. Into the far turn. Advantage still growing. Ecto 1 driving away from the Highside truck. Down to the final turn, Ecto 1 tags the turning car, pulls a big wheel stand, misses the final jump. That's a 5-second penalty. Highside in trouble as well. Not going to gather it up in the 5 seconds. The win's still going to go over to Ecto 1. Final pair here in the first round, Tailfin Terror versus Creeping Death. Light goes green. Tailfin Terror pushes really bad there in the first turn. Going to allow Creeping Death to drive away from him down to the far end. Smith almost spins the truck out down at the far end. Plenty of time to gather it back up. He picks the throttle back up and back down the straightaway to the final turn. Solid advantage up and over the start-finish line. Creeping Death moving on to the semifinals. Semifinal time here in show number 2. Jersey Devil taking on Bustin' Loose. And then Ecto 1 taking on Creeping Death. Jersey Devil, Bustin' Loose at the line. Light goes green, reaction time advantage to Bustin' Loose. Keeps the advantage through the first turn, starts driving away down to the far end. Power slides through the turn at the far end, carrying a ton of speed coming back to start-finish line. Tags the turning car, tries to gather it back up. Here comes Jersey Devil with a ton of speed, and at the line, Mike Henry's going to steal the spot and go to the finals for the second event in a row in the Jersey Devil. Jersey Devil locks into the finals for the second time in a row. Who is he facing? Is it Ecto 1 or is it Creeping Death? The light goes green, advantage to Creeping Death through the first turn. Down to the far end. Creeping Death struggles to make the turn. Ecto 1 with a beautiful turn. Picks it up down the main straightaway, coming for home. Nearly tags the turning car on corner entry. Tags him just a touch on the way out. Wheel stands over the start-finish line. Creeping Death all out of shape coming to the finish. Ecto 1 going to the finals against the Jersey Devil. Here we go for all the marbles. Here's show number 2 in Houston. Light goes green. They lead together. Mike Henry Jr. swings way wide. Ton of speed carry, though, all the way down to the far end. Both drivers make beautiful turns. Ecto 1 gets into the turning stack just a little bit. Coming into the final corner, 2 great turns, and at the line, another photo finish. Going to the overhead camera. This one a little more decisive than the previous race. Your winner here at show number 2 in Houston is Ecto 1. And folks, that's going to do it for racing action here at week number 1 with the AMT Promotions Outlaw Monster Truck Series. Taking a look at our point standings, we've got a tie at the top between Bustin' Loose and Ecto 1. Third place, Jersey Devil, Creeping Death in 4th. And a 3-way tie for 5th place between Tailfin Terror, Highside, and Brutus. 10 weeks, 20 rounds of competition. We still got 18 to go. It's anybody's ball game. We sure hope you enjoyed tonight's racing action. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And we'll see you next time for all the racing action right here on the B Main Bandits YouTube channel.